I assure you, brother, the sun will shine on us again.
No resurrections this time.
Nice.
Just saying.
Okay.
Chuck! Mic drop.
Hey everybody, it's Charlie. There's a bunch of new Loki theories floating around for why he's back during Avengers 4, so I wanted to explain. Because no resurrections this time, but he also goes out on the line, I assure you, brother, the sun will shine on us again, meaning that things will be okay. So in true fashion, he's being very confusing, and we know that he's coming back during Avengers 4. We've even got a look at some of the scenes, so I'll explain how he's back and what this all means and why they sent him out like this. So let's break it down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's a new round of that Infinity War Blu-ray giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on the video. So keep in mind that Infinity War and Avengers 4 were written to be a bookend for all these characters, even though we know that some of them are going to continue into Phase 4. Chris Hemsworth among them. Thor will continue forward in the timeline into Phase 4, and there's always the chance that actors come back because movies are set in the past, or there's a hallucination, like when they did that Captain America scene during Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, this is much better. Whoa. Costume's a bit much. So tight. With the confidence, I can feel the righteousness surging.
Hey, want to have a rousing discussion about truth, honor, patriotism? God bless them.
Chris Evans wasn't really in that movie, it was Loki pretending to be him. So there are a lot of different ways for dead characters to come back. So just remember that the sun will shine on us again. And Loki is one of the more clever Marvel characters, even though he was sort of one-up by Doctor Strange during Thor Ragnarok. Technically, I do think that Doctor Strange has much more powerful magic than Loki, but you have to imagine that Loki's been alive a lot longer. So that's why people are having such a hard time believing that this is the end of Loki completely. Like, we know he's coming back during Avengers 4, we saw this scene, what's going on? So the new theory that I saw is that because he's using his left hand and Loki is traditionally right-handed, there was something different going on in this moment because he probably knew that he wouldn't be able to kill Thanos, so why was he sacrificing himself if he knew it wouldn't work? It feels weird. So what I think the writers wanted to happen in this moment here is they wanted to pay off that moment from the Dark World where he sacrificed himself, but it turned out to be a trick. So he wasn't being that noble. Remember, they turned it into a big funny scene during Thor Ragnarok. That was what the play was all about. Look at how noble Loki is. They built a statue to him. He was such a hero, but it was all a great big joke because he was still alive pretending to be Odin.
I will tell Father what you did here today.
I didn't do it for him. I didn't do it for him.
Infinity War and Avengers 4 are meant to pay off a lot of these big moments in the past 10 years in a bunch of different movies. So this moment was meant to be peak hero Loki. So first big thing that I think is going on here is that they're not going to roll this back. Like he says, no resurrections. I think that line means from the writers that this version of Loki will not come back via resurrection, but he will come back. And because they want it to feel like a real sacrifice, him being a real hero, this is our Loki. It's not somebody else pretending to be Loki. The Russos also confirmed that some of the deaths during Infinity War were meant to be permanent, meaning they wouldn't get rolled back, and that gets into how people died during the movie. There were two main ways that they did that. One, there were all the people that were snapped and turned to ashes. Then two, there were the people that were killed in combat. So you have people like Vision, where Thanos just rips the mind gem out of his forehead. His body is left there post-snap. You have to assume that Loki's body was just sort of floating in the vacuum of space somewhere. Because if Thor's body was strong enough to survive that big blast when Thanos left, then there's probably some of Loki's body that's floating around there too. They didn't really explain what they did with that. Is it still floating there, or Thor did something with it with the help of the Guardians to give him some sort of eulogy? But it's important that Thor believed that Loki is dead, so I don't think that this is any kind of trick. Loki probably sacrificed himself knowing that it wouldn't work to give Thor the push he needed to eventually defeat Thanos. He had to seek out Stormbreaker, remember how their father's death brought them together again, their mother's death during Thor: The Dark World. Usually the death of someone close to him is what pushes Thor to level up. Think of it as like a Dragon Ball situation. He has to level up like Goku, but in order for that to happen, he has to lose something very important to him, and in this moment, that thing is Loki. So I think all these scenes that we see him in during Avengers 4 aren't going to undercut this sacrifice that he made, meaning there are really like two big ways that Loki can come back, because remember what we learned based on that Ant-Man and the Wasp post-credit scene. So just careful for spoilers for the end of that movie if you have not seen it yet. But at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, they heavily imply that Ant-Man will be traveling through time and space through the use of the quantum realm. The time vortices are Super Mario warp pipes that can just port you out into the past or the future, we have no idea. Plus the idea that the quantum realm exists in multiple different realities, traveling through the multiverse using quantum energy. So remember, multiverse. There are infinite Lokis. There's a Loki in the past that's alive and well. So everybody's been wondering about the Loki here in what looks like a moment from the first Avengers film where he has that muzzle on after they've taken him, because it looks like they travel into the past. But the Russos have said that it's BARFing technology from Civil War, so this isn't really happening, even though we think that that isn't totally true. There's some sort of quantum factor in play here, which implies multiverse. But the Russos also confirmed that they were balancing these two movies, Infinity War and Avengers 4, between the many characters that they had to handle, meaning people that got really important big scenes during Infinity War weren't going to be really big characters during Avengers 4. So I don't expect to see a whole lot of Loki during Avengers 4. I think he's around for scenes like this, where they're going back to visit moments in their early history, where they're trying to get more clues about fighting Thanos, traveling around the multiverse and time and space. We know there's a scene at the end of the movie with 60 plus characters from both these movies in frame together, just like some crazy big scene. Why would you do a big crowd shot like that? Second backup theory, how do you end something this major in a happy way? Probably with a wedding that Tony and Pepper were talking about. I've already done videos about why they were talking about the wedding and why they're setting that up for Avengers 4. But based on what the Russos have said, I don't think they intend to roll back Loki's sacrifice. So when he says the sun will shine on us again, I think it's more of a metaphor for Thor creating New Asgard in Norway and Loki shining down on him from Valhalla the way that Odin did during Thor Ragnarok.
No. You're stronger.
Yes, we do have to say that Loki is not an Asgardian. He shouldn't be able to enter Valhalla because he's a frost giant. But I think based on the way the MCU treats Norse mythology, Odin has the ability to bend those supernatural rules. Just remember, MCU plays it fast and loose with those kinds of rules. So if he comes back in movies further ahead in the timeline, think of him as more like Force Ghost Yoda, because Odin was able to speak to Thor from Valhalla, meaning that Loki could do it too. Let me know in the comments though, when Loki said, "The sun will shine on us again, brother, I assure you," what do you think that he meant? Next week is the official release date for all these bonus features and deleted scenes from Infinity War, so I'll do videos for that stuff when it posts, but leave all your requests in the comments below. Congratulations to the giveaway winner from my last big video, Matthew Barnett. Please email me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. I'll name a new winner when I post new Marvel. Click here for my Venom Comic-Con trailer video, and click here for all the other big trailers. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.